Guys, welcome to Agent Mastermind. So excited to have you guys here. I'm on live with, actually I'm not live. I was live. Well, we're live, but not live on Facebook. We had a little glitch. I'm going to try to log back into Facebook Live with Lauren Coburn. Lauren, as you can see right here, has a huge boatload of experience, a very, very successful real estate agent, and runs $100 million. He's closed over $100 million in the last 5 years with his team. He's been so gracious with his time, and Lauren, I'm honored to have you here. He's going to share with us a bunch of stuff. More importantly, what he's done to get him and his team up running on all 8 cylinders in the real estate industry. He's a little bit of a techno, maybe a lot of a techno. We'll find out here in a little bit. But Lauren, I appreciate you being here, man, and look forward to hearing what you have for us. And I'm just glad to be back on Agent Mastermind. It's been a few weeks, so I appreciate, Inga, you taking care of this class for me while I've been traveling a little bit. And Lauren, what do you got for us?
Man, you know, I just love to share, and I have found out that by sharing it, sometimes it definitely brings in the fact that, you know, I get to learn from other agents out there and get to bring different things to the industry. Like you said, I am pretty involved, so my time is always a stretch, but I enjoy giving back, and hopefully making our profession a stronger and desired profession for many to come.
Good deal, good deal. Well, I appreciate your time out of your schedule, man, and it's just awesome to have you here. So, what are you gonna cover today? So we got a big group and a bunch of people signing on. What is it that? I mean, you just want to jump right into it? Does that sound good? Tell us a little about yourself and kind of go from there.
Sure. And my main thing is, if hopefully I can throw a few tips out there that can definitely help everyone to maybe grow their business a little bit over the next 12 months to continuing on through a career. So yeah, my big thing is I've started a real estate boot camp class here locally, and I've been offering just some advice to help grow your business. And probably the biggest thing that I'm seeing is people staying consistent with their business and able to. You get busy, and I think all across the United States we're all busy, especially if you're in the industry. You're as busy as you possibly can be, but what I see is the consistency of what people are doing. I see it in my office. I see it in other people that call me and ask me for advice. A lot of times, we'll see a high and then we'll see a low, and that's going from, maybe you put 5 or 10 deals under contract in 1 month or, a 2-month period, but you get to a point where you're working those and you let off on being consistent with your marketing or asking for the business or, buying the business, if you want to call it that. And I think you get through a couple months, and then you automatically you're begging for business and looking for business, and you kind of got to restart your marketing over. So one of my big things I try to tell everyone is, stay consistent what you're doing with your marketing, stay consistent with what you're doing in your business, so that it just continues to flow in. And that comes, for single agents to team agents that are, running a team or part of a team. I think it definitely, you get to a point where you're too busy to grow, or you get to a point where you're working so many deals and you're trying to get through inspections, appraisals, things like that, and you forget about the important part.
Yeah. So give me an example of consistency. So like, what do you mean by that? When so someone's on this call and like they're struggling a little bit, and you're like, okay, consistency. Like, is it consistency in doing the things that will get them business, or just consistency? Is it lack of something, or lack of team, or what do you find is the biggest culprit that hurts them when it comes to the consistency part?
I think the number one part of the consistency is marketing. If you keep your marketing consistent, I think it helps you keep your business consistent. Because what I've found is I would get into a certain lead generation that I'd be doing, and I would either slow down on it or not really work it as hard. But when I went to go back, because I got out of being the busy time, it's like I had to restart it. And when you got to restart it, one, it costs you more money. Two, it's going to cost you more time on getting it going again. So I think consistency in marketing is very key. So what you put in place and what is returning a good return on investment, an ROI, is something that you need to make sure every single day you're touching a little bit. So I think time blocking on marketing is very important, and being proactive about it instead of reactive about it is key to keeping your months running throughout the year and keeping that number throughout the year going good.
Absolutely, man. Consistency on the marketing. You know what I find, and I don't, maybe you find the same thing in your business. I find that people do whatever they need to do to have a good month, and then once they have a good month, they kind of relax a little bit or think that they got to take care of what's already there, and then what they did to get to that, now they're not doing anymore. So then they close what they have, and then they start all over again, and so that's what causes the roller coaster. Do you find the same thing?
Yeah, and that's really exactly what I'm saying is if you find a system that's working for you, continue to work that even though you're busy. So time blocking, running a daily schedule that whether it's in the morning that you're doing it or evening that you're doing it, just make sure you're staying with it and you're putting in that time so that when 30 days, 60 days comes down the road, you're not looking for it. That business is there and you're growing it.
Got it. Cool. All right. Cool. So consistency, and cool, man. So what else? What's another thing that you've used to grow your amazing success with?
It took me a little while to find the right CRM, and
interesting.
That has been probably the key to my success is having something that is that's working for you. And again, I think that comes back to the consistency as well. But the CRM is so key, and I think that can play into your partners in your business,
Absolutely.
such as your lenders, your insurance guys. I mean, whoever you're partnering with, I think it could definitely play into them being part of your team and working as a team.
Okay. So I got 1 million people asking, what is the CRM system? I was like, oh, you just opened up a can of worms.
No, that's fine. So I have found that economically and for the cost, which economically, and then just being able to track, LionDesk has probably been one of my favorites.
What's it called again? What's it called?
LionDesk. LION.
Okay.
It's been probably it's one of the new ones that I'm using, but it will be my go-to for the next probably year or two, just to see to keep growing with it, just because I don't like to change them. I used Commissions Inc. back for a while. Great program, a lot of great tools. They did a lot of great things for me. Cost-wise, it was up, and but it was kind of one of them things that I like to see the guys who are doing things that are being more innovative on how this industry's moving. And I think that's another key thing to grow in your business is staying, in the know, and trying to stay up with the technology. I know a lot of people don't like the part of the technology moving so fast.
Right.
But at the same time, I think if you don't move with it, you're going to be moving backwards.
Got it. Okay. So LionDesk. So what is it about because I always say whatever CRM you're going to use, what is it about LionDesk that makes it so popular for you? Like what is it? Why that one?
It's easy to to bring in all of your leads from different places into one. So that's a pretty easy system to do. So everywhere you're gaining leads. I don't care what system, what platform you're using. You're able to bring it in there, and then you can track it. So you can track your spending. You can track your closings, you can track your appointments, and I think that's key to. And I've done this for Agent Mastermind for the last 3 or 4 years. I've posted at the end of the year what my ROI was for that previous year on my top 5 sources. And so anybody that knows me or has ever followed that, I would say when I first started the business, I bought the business. I paid some of the top guys out there, the 3 big ones, a ton of money to generate the business that I was generating. Now today I don't do that. I will tell you, my whole business has changed since then. But I think I paid to play and paid to learn. So I would definitely say that that's probably been one of my biggest things is so all of these systems can come into LionDesk, all of anything you're trying to do, and putting in everything down to your sphere of influence. So because I think that's one of our number 1 sources, referrals, friends, family. I think that's the cheapest and the easiest marketing you have out there. So again, I think that comes to being consistent and being, touching your CRM, as in from every aspect of it, whether it's business you're buying or business you've already done, making sure that you're touching those people throughout the year so that you don't lose that opportunity when they know someone is coming up to buy a home.
Got it. Okay. And, I think one important thing you said that I think so many people miss the boat on. I don't know if it's our DNA or like how we're wired. We like to throw the chase, and I've said this before. We like to throw the chase more than we do communicating with people that already know, like, and trust us.
Right.
And for that matter, it's we call it the low-hanging fruit, and to not tell your friends, family, sphere of influence, their friends, their family, like, build a network of people that know, like, and trust you and would refer anybody to you is just a loss of money, and that's what we call it, the low-hanging fruit. So, I can't stress that enough.
And that's probably, my biggest thing. I live in an area where I don't have any family here other than my wife and my children. But my friends is who my major sphere of influence is, so I just make sure that I'm touching base with them. They know what I do in every form, so that when somebody's ready to go, then I'm getting that referral or getting that contact. And that's probably one of the big things of building your having your good CRM is one of the things I've noticed that some people do, and I don't know how smart it is, but when they're growing, they have a ton of business. Probably one of the biggest negatives I see is people referring off someone that referred them someone. And that being, you get a call from a past client and they're referring you someone, but you don't have time to handle it. That's probably been one of the biggest things I've seen, that if you don't take care of that personal referral, then you're probably going to lose that business altogether. I think that comes back to having a great CRM that you're putting these people in, you're not forgetting about them, and you're running your business every single day.
Yes, CRM is so important. If it was me and you hate technology, you hate CRMs, you're not going to put the people in there, hire somebody to do it for you, because the money, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but if the money you're losing from not following up pays for 3 people, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're not going to do it.
So. 100% agree. Yeah. And that's the big part of it, is if you don't like technology or if you don't want to put it in, then pay someone to do it all day long.
So I just, a lot of people are asking the CRM, so it's Lion, L-I-O-N?
Yeah, L-I-O-N-D-E-S-K.
Desk. D-E-S-K, so LionDesk, L-I-O-N-D-E-S-K, LionDesk. Cool. All right, cool. All right, so here on the screen you have, do you have a business plan? If yes, do you follow the business plan? Talk to us about that.
So I think this is probably one of the very big things of young agents and experienced agents. I think they come into the business and they just kind of run, day to day, and not really have a game plan of where they're going or what they're doing. Other than, a buyer comes in, you're trying to sell them. A seller comes in, you're trying to list it, and you're trying to get it sold. But one thing I've done every year since I started got really going in the business in 2011 was I've built a business plan in November to be ready to go come January. And what that meant is how much money was I going to spend on marketing, or projected to spend, how much money was I going to spend or how much time was I going to spend on different aspects of my business. And that gives me a definite way to kind of put a business plan in my hand and look at it, and I leave it on my desk all the time, but I can always refer back to that if I feel like I'm getting off the path of where I was trying to go from the beginning of the year. It's editable. You change it as you go sometimes, but at least gives you something to come back to have a written step-by-step. If you get sidetracked or you get busy, you can always come back to it and pull from it when you need to kind of get your career going or get your daily routine going again.
Right on. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical failure here on the GoToMeeting server. No one's trying to connect. Can you still hear me? Can everybody still hear us? Okay. All right, good. All right. So a business plan. So here's a quick question. Can everybody hear us still on the call? Inga, can you still hear us? Nope, she can't hear us.
I can hear you guys. Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right. I just wonder if anybody else can. All right. So my question is, who on this call has? All right. That's really weird. Connection restored. Okay, good. All right. So who on this call has a business plan, and have they followed? Like, we're 6 months into the year. Who on this call has a business plan and has followed it to a T up till today, or has had to change it because they've hit their goals? Anybody there doing that? Or is there a lack of business planning that goes on? Is what I'm looking for. Do you spend time on a business plan? Because we do this every 90 days. I don't know what you do, Lauren, but every 90 days we readjust the business plan. Where do we want to be in 12 months? Where do we want to be in 90 days? What do we got to do every other week that's congruent with the 12 months and 90 days? Which I think is so important. And then we have an accountability partner to hold us accountable for that. Do you do something like that on your team? Do you hold them accountable? Do you help your people that work with you with business plans, or how would you recommend doing something like that?
I think it kind of comes back to, if you put in the time with it, it's going to work for you. Same thing with the CRM thing. If you put in the time to make it work, it's going to work. So I think if you put in the time with the business plan, and I really think you have to really judge it on, when you're going to spend the time and fully put yourself into that. I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day working on the business plan. I do recommend doing it every 90 days or every quarter, because if you could adjust, and that's one thing I didn't really do in the beginning of my career, is I didn't adjust quicker. I waited a little too long, so I spent a ton of money on bad ROI lead generation, where I should have cut it off and went to a different route, or tried something different throughout the rest of the year. So I think every 90 days is great. Do I do that? No, I pretty much 1 year at a time right now, other than I do adjust my lead generation and things like that about every 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Now you talked a little bit about coaching, and I want to ask another question on this class. Of the people that are here, who has a coach? Who has a coach that they talk to every other week, once a month? Just put a yes if you have a coach and you talk to them every other week. I'm just curious. Yes, no. Here's a question: How do you adjust your lead generation? I don't know how I would answer that, but I'll.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
so I do adjust it. I think it takes a little time to see if a lead generation is going to work for you. I don't think you can do it in the first 30 days. but I think you have a really good understanding at the 90-day mark of is it generating, and you really have to really track, is it generating appointments? Is it generating sales? Is it generating listings? So obviously if you're doing some lead generation, you know that's either for buyers or sellers.
Yeah.
But I think you have to really track your appointments that you're pulling in, because that appointment could lead into the business down the road. So if you start it at a certain time of the year, you get, you know, some appointments, and you're following up. I believe that is that's really key. Now, I also believe that there is lead generation that you're doing that is on the call, or as soon as you get it, you're wanting to sell it, you're wanting to close it as soon as possible. So, but I think 90 days is a good indication of if that lead generation is going to work. And if it is working for appointments, then continue it another 90 days to see if you convert those appointments into listings or sales. So every 90 days, evaluate your return on investment for anything you're doing.
Awesome. Great idea. Yolanda's asking, does Lauren hire someone to make the calls for him? Great question.
Yeah, I actually have two players in that. One, I've run a virtual assistant where they make calls for me. Two, my lender has calls that are going out that they're making because they are with me on the marketing side of it. So the lender they have to make so many calls per day. So I've got two people there, and then myself or my agents, if they get the lead in, they're to call within a certain minute. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute why that's important.
Okay. All right, cool. Perfect. All right. Go to the next slide.
So, I mean, I think I do encourage, if you don't have time to make the calls, to find out that source that you want to be able to get in front of them, because the belly-to-belly appointment and setting that appointment up is key to converting that person into a sale.
Yes. Okay. Follow-up's everything, man. I keep every sentence you say is follow-up, 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 and I think there's a lack of it. So, again, if you're not following up with your past database, current database, loans in process, I think you're as you say, really missing the boat on that.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the lead generation does. But this is a slide. If it's coming up, can you see this?
Yes.
The impact of response time. So, for me, when I started in this business, I knew that someone called, you better answer, you're going to lose that deal in a matter of minutes. So I'd never really had great dates with my wife, and got to really watch every sporting event that my kids did. But this is a good statistics that show, if that lead contacts you in 1 minute, 391% chance of converting it is key to making it a successful lead that's coming in. And the way I look at it is, if you're paying for it, you want every chance you can to convert it. If not,
absolutely,
you're throwing your money
absolutely, away. Yes. Great point. Great point. So what does this mean? So 1 minute is 390% better chance to get a hold of the customer. Correct. Is that what that's saying?
As in
2 minutes
converting it.
Converting it. 2 minutes drops in half. 3 minutes drops in half again almost. 30 minutes is looks like 24 hours is still. I can't believe that it's that high on 24 hours. That's 17%.
I can't either, but not everyone is technology advanced as everyone else. So sometimes they
true. Yeah, right.
That's where they get that number from.
Maybe those guys are persistent.
Yeah, and I feel like if that person calls and you answer or you return their call immediately, you have that better chance. I mean, they always say that statistics go up dramatically. I think it's in the 70% style. That first agent that responds to the lead is who gets the lead. So I think that has to do with that 1 minute being so high. So the key to this is having a system that is immediately notifying you when that lead source does come through. answering every phone call. That's probably the biggest thing I hear, and kind of hearing more, and I'm actually kind of worried. Why? Because there is almost 1.4 million realtors in the industry today, that people still say I call and don't get a response, or don't get a call back, or I call and no one answers. That's probably one of my craziest things. Like, I've never really understood when your phone rings.
I don't understand that either. Yeah, I don't understand that either. Text for information, call on a house, and you never get a call back. You're like, okay, what was the use of that? I mean, it's nice for the consumer because they can get information, not have to talk to anybody. So it's like kicking tires on Sunday, right, if you're looking to buy a car?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably one of the big things for me, and I really encourage it in my team, my office, is make sure you're contacting them, make sure you're following up. Communication's everything, and communication is how you're growing your business and producing. So that would be probably one of my best advices I could tell you is oh, sorry.
All right.
Are you there?
Yep. Okay, there we go.
Sorry about that.
Derek's coming in. Derek has a great question, I think. That's, and we'll go to this next page here, and then we'll. No, it's okay. That's pretty. Dude, I love that. The curtains, man. That was awesome. So Derek's asking a question. How do you hire a virtual assistant? Like, what is there a website you use, or what did you do to find your virtual assistant?
So I mean, really, I found them off of social media, just going on to like Agent Mastermind, and type in the question, what's the best virtual assistant out there, and I was able to hire them through that route. My Outdesk was the person that I used, and they're pretty good. You're interviewing them. It's just like a job, so you're getting to see what their experience is, and you're able to kind of see if that person fits your personality to do what you're asking them to do.
Yeah.
So I literally got on the line with them. We were face-to-face conversations. I got to ask them the questions I wanted. So that was my, that was one of the easiest things I've done. And they make calls, and they follow up. They do exactly as you tell them to for however many hours you want them to a day.
Yeah. And is yours in the Philippines? Is that what you said? Philippines?
It's My Outdesk. I don't know where they exactly.
Oh, okay. My Outdesk. Okay. All right. So myoutdesk.com.
Yep.
Right.
I believe so.
My Outdesk. I'm just looking it up while you're talking. So tell us about dude. This is a big topic, and every time I put Facebook in the title, I get like twice as many or 3 times as many people to show up. Facebook is like crazy powerful, and we're doing some crazy stuff with it that I'd love to share with you as well. When we finish some more testing, we're already doing it. We just got the follow-up piece dialed in. We got a company doing it for us as far as the Facebook leads. And guys, for you guys on this call, you don't want to miss this thing coming up here in the future about. And you might already be doing this, so please share. But we're gonna. Facebook is just taking over. It's just like it's where everybody's at. It's where everybody's hanging at. It's where everybody's talking, walking. Where it's just crazy how powerful this thing is becoming. How are you using Facebook to get business, keep business, generate leads? What are you doing with it?
So for me, I run a ton of pages. Okay. I have many different pages that I'm running, and I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm kind of testing something to see. But the good thing about IDXs out there that are connected with your MLS. You're able to go out and social share any properties that are on the MLS. You just can't claim them. And I think there's probably a lack of that because of just stepping on toes. But any home that's on the market and it's on the MLS, it's out there to be sold. So if it's going out to on MLS and it's going out to portals, what stops you from going out and marketing that property? Just don't say it's yours. Don't claim it. So I think that is probably one of the biggest things that I see that people don't take advantage of. I don't take a super lot of advantage of it now because of I'm the MLS president, so I don't like to step on anyone's toes. But it is an opportunity for agents to do, and you can tie that back to your IDX and tie back in leads to your coming into your CRM.
Very cool.
And that being, let's take an example of this, is you go out and you have an addition that you know of in your area that is selling like crazy. You create a Facebook page for that addition, and you post your IDX sites on that ID using an IDX, so social share, of homes that are available in there, and you can generate business like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the question here. How many people on this call have somebody running their social media for them? Before you talk about it, does anybody on this call have somebody run their Facebook, social media period, and their email type thing just to monetize that? Anybody doing that for anybody? All right. So tell us what you're doing. Do you have someone do your social media for you, or is it a VA type thing again?
No, I do most of it myself,
Okay.
or my office manager does a great job at doing that as well.
Okay, beautiful. So you do have somebody help you?
Oh yes, yeah, I couldn't do it all myself.
Okay. Okay.
It's not really. It's something that I really like to control due to just our regulations, and we are professionals, so we just always want to keep it professional. So I'm very.
Sure.
I'm scared to put it out there and let someone else try to run that for me, just because I don't want my name associated with something that I wouldn't do myself. So, so I really kind of watch that a little closer than I do anything.
Cool.
And that's, coming back to having a business page on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, any of the major social media sites. Also having a Google business page. You as a realtor, you are a business. I would definitely have a Google business page and get those reviews. You want to know how to beat out the big portals? Go get the reviews. Watch what happens in your local market.
Absolutely. So you say here, suggest you spend 1 hour a week on social media only for marketing purposes. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So for me, I have my personal page is really I do a lot of business on it as well, but I don't overdo the business. So the things that when I say that, I'm doing, building different pages for different subdivisions or whatever, and then making sure that I'm going out and I'm boosting post or target marketing on post, where that I'm wanting only the people who are buying the homes and what I'm trying to promote is seeing it. So a lot of times I'll ask realtors, have you seen one of my posts that I posted out there as a target market? Something I was trying to sell or a home that I'm trying to sell, and most of the time it's no, but that's because I keep them from seeing it because I don't want to waste the money on their click.
Yeah. Cool.
And it gets a little confusing, I know. So it's
yep.
You might as well market to the people who are buying, and because the realtor's already going to see it anyway. So market to the people who are buying in that area, who are looking for that style of property, and capture the people who are potential buyers.
It's interesting that you run several pages. So do you run several pages for other agents, or is it your page that you just run different things on? And by the way, Carol's asking our page, is there a there's no today. There's no cost to run to open a Facebook page. You can open as many as you want. Now, I think there's going to come a time when Facebook's going to go, all right, there's no activity here. You got 30 days to pick it up, or we're going to shut it down. I don't know if maybe they won't ever do that, but yeah. So how do you use different pages? That sounds pretty cool.
Different pages, and that's being just posting for subdivisions, whether you can, tie into what their HOA is doing or what that local community is doing. Because what happens is once you get some attraction on it, when people come to it, they're going to sign into it, or they're going to, how do you say it? Sorry, I lost train of thought there.
It's okay. So we were talking about the pages and different pages and how to use them, and the mindset behind having different pages instead of just one. Yeah,
and the whole purpose of that is, being able to promote a certain subdivision or a certain area. And I do it for the cities too. That I'm in the metro, Oklahoma City metro, so I do around, I do a Norman page, a Moore page, which is 2 cities that I'm in every day, and then kind of a parameter that I go out to, and I bring in different pages, but I also can put in different updates as well, and get the attention through the pages off of doing updates of what's happening in the community. It doesn't always have to be about selling or a home for sale. I would definitely not do it 100% in that realm because people will just get bored with it and unlike it or not want to follow it.
Okay, cool. So so man, I 100% agree on the 80-20, 20% business, 80, and I don't even know if it needs to be that much, you know. I mean, 10%, 5% business, the rest, because really Facebook is a party. Facebook is personal. It's, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So some people just like flood it with business, and I'm like, oh boy, crazy, you know, because like it's not the place, but like you can get way better because what's going to happen? And like people will unfollow you if that's all you're going to do is post business because like they're not in the, you know. So it's better to have a relationship or build a relationship, or if all you did was not post anything and collaborate with people, I think you'd have better response than posting business. You know what I mean? Like their pages, comment on their stuff. Awesome, looks like fun. Wow, where's that at? Just have a conversation as if they were a friend. I think you'd have better traction from it. Yeah,
and I completely agree. And that's the thing is I'm a skydiver, so I post a lot of stuff about skydiving, about my kids, and then I post all my agents' homes and things like that, but I don't, you know, I hardly ever will do them back to back, and it is kind of just what I like seeing. If I see a ton of posts from someone, it doesn't that I unfollow them, but it's just when I see something come up, it's not as engaging. So I try to do a little bit of a variety, and I'd say I'm probably 50-50, not really 80-20. But I think it really depends on the page that you're on at that time. If you're on your business page, then go, you know, a little bit higher because that's why they're there. If it's your personal page, definitely don't be scared to post some business stuff about your business on your personal page so that maybe you capture new friends that are there.
Right. Yep. Cool. All right, man. Any questions on Facebook? Best to have a personal. What's this right here? Okay, here. Best to have a personal and a separate business page. What's your comment on that?
Yeah, I would have both because on personal pages you can't boost anything and you can't target market, so you got to have a business page to be able to do that. So you got to have both.
Got it. Okay.
Does that mean you got to post everything to both sites? No. Just remember to engage in all of it, but you do need to get to that point where you can boost and post because that is a big lead generator.
Yes. Great point. All right. And now let me ask you this: do you post more business on your business page, or you still keep that personal?
I post more business on my business page.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
And we kind of touched on this.
What do we got here, man? Real estate boot camp. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. You can skip that. Okay. Online marketing. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I was just kind of sliding through a couple of those. The online marketing, it's not just so there's Instagram, there's multiple different ways to market, and there's also, building your Google business page so that, you can get reviews, and that's another way to, capture some organic traffic, and that's probably the best way to do that because that's free. It's just asking people to review your business.
Right.
And trust me, they won't all be good. We all
now,
want
do you know? So your top 4 is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, or do you have a different one that you prefer?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I probably do the less stuff on LinkedIn, but I really want to do more on LinkedIn. It's just I just really haven't dove into that. Okay.
Got it. Cool. All right, brother. What else you got for us, man? Coming up on 45 minutes here. Any questions you guys want to ask Laura, man? Again, I appreciate you being here, brother. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's a good one. Sandra says, and this is probably a question for everybody, what is a boost? Great question. Thanks for asking that, Sandra. What is a boost? You want to talk about that a little bit? Because I think this is very, very important, and maybe why the boost is so important.
Yeah, so when you go in to boost something, you can go into, you got to have a business page to do this, but let's say you post one of your listings. You can go into your, go into the page and then go to, if I can get my brain working here, I'm just going to click on one of my business pages so I can, you can go into promote. You can promote or go into one of your posts that you've done, and if your business page is on it, these should come up in your feed all the time, and it should say to the bottom right of a feed that you put in there, or a listing, or whatever you're selling. Hopefully, it's a listing. You can click Boost Post, so it's a button on the bottom right-hand side, and from there you can go into really customizing it the way that you want to boost it. That's going to cost money, but you can target pretty much areas. You can target demographics. You can, I mean, you're promoting something to sell, so you can promote it to, if it's $1 million property, who can buy the $1 million properties. Doesn't mean anybody can't buy it. Just means that that's what you're spending your marketing money on.
Sure.
And the reason why that's important is because the clicks are going to cost you. You're going to get to set a budget, and you're going to get to see what that return of that budget is as well. Because I promise you, if you go out and spend $25 on a boost and you sell a deal off of it, you're probably going to do a lot more boosting.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Is now, and let me ask you a question: is boosting necessarily to generate business, or is it to stay in front of people?
So I think yeah, no, it's a good question. So I think you can use boosting for a couple of different ways. One, if you're going to boost something or boost a listing to sell, then you're going after to gain the business. Okay. If you're boosting your website or your logo and your brand, then you're marketing. So the marketing boost is to get your logo and your name in front of more people. And I would definitely recommend doing that, whether you're young in the business or experienced in the business. It never hurts to, when someone sees your name or recognizes your name because you're associated with the real estate industry, that may give you that opportunity that, oh, I'm thinking about selling, I'm going to call this person because I saw their marketing online. And so I do think there's sometimes a little confusion there. Boosting to gain leads and gain business, then you're boosting something that probably someone wants to buy. So that listing in that area, and that's where you get into the target marketing. You're targeting to the clientele that wants to buy that property. And we could really get into detail with that. This isn't the call for it because it'll take a long time.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to cover before we shut her down? Any other questions? So great question on the boost. Let's see. That's the 80-20. What I boost, I get this hits, but cannot see who the person is that hits. Why not? Great question. So so when you boost a post, do you have some sort of landing page? Do you have some sort of opt-in, or like what do you? This is some good numbers too. But how are you when you choose to boost a post? What do you like? Do you have them? Do you drive them somewhere, like a lead capture system?
Okay, so yeah, that is definitely one thing I do. So when I do boost anything I'm doing for marketing and bringing in leads, then that boost is coming back to my CRM. So when people are clicking on it for more information, yeah, you can see your clicks and all that good stuff, but your main ones you want is people who sign up that want more information. That becomes a lead. So that lead goes directly into the CRM, and then you're able to contact them from there and put them in your database and following up with them. So yeah, I track everything that I do on the boost and the target marketing.
Okay, very cool, man. Awesome. So what do you got here, man? That's pretty cool.
This is my lead sources from the last 4 years, and it's something I like to share with everybody because I told you I used to throw a lot of money out, the big boys, on trying to generate the business. And I think systems have changed these days, so they're not the same today. But this is 4 of the biggest ones I was doing in 14. I was throwing a lot of money at them, but I earned a little bit of money as well.
Yeah. Write a small check to cash a big check, man. If you're earning more than what you paid, looks like Tiger Leads was your worst one.
Yeah.
I think you lost some money on that. So yeah, but the other ones you totally. I mean, dude, if I can spend 50 and make $6,000, like how many times can I make? How many times can I spend 50, right?
Yeah.
But you know, pretty cool.
And that's the thing is, you know, that's where I wasn't tracking it fast enough, though.
Okay.
I probably caught some of this early on, and I wouldn't have spent as much money had I just turned it off.
Correct.
Stopped spending the money on it because.
Great point.
And I recommend never going to a year contract. You know, if you got to do 6 months, it's going to give you 6 months to see if it's in the right ROI to return another 6 months. So, like this was 15. Obviously, Realtor.com was my #1 play.
Yeah.
And then except for Sphere of Influence. Facebook.
Wow, you did great on Facebook, man.
Yeah, last year was my first testing Facebook, and
okay.
You know, I don't know why, but I had a way better ROI than I'm having this year on it. But I think it's just being more precise.
Facebook's getting more, you know, Facebook's changing some stuff, man. So it's just staying with the algorithms and what they're doing and who they're doing it with, and just crazy. It's just tougher, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, for me, that's kind of my main thing is, you know, we'll go back to the beginning of it, but the consistency of it, being consistent with the marketing, tracking what you're doing on whatever it is you decide to do, because every market is different. I have learned that being engaged in the industry, talking to many different people across the nation. What may work for me here may not work for the person in Miami, or may not work for the person in LA. So I think you really have to, you know, I definitely say try something out of your box, and see if it works for you, and track it quickly. Don't let it go on and linger and get into big contracts. I think that takes people out of the industry quickly.
So I think a couple things I've learned from you today, man, is one is consistency, persistence, track everything. Because like you said on it wasn't Zerple, it was Tiger Leads. If you'd have known you weren't making money on Tiger Leads, drop it and put more money in the other ones you were making money, specifically Realtor.com. You could have literally probably put all your money in Realtor.com and made the same as all 4 of them and just focused on one lead source. Would you agree? Or
no, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because your growth, your ROA on Realtor.com. It's nice to have another one just in case something changes. But like I would have probably kept Commissions Inc. and Realtor.com, but the other one's smaller. I mean, although 167% is pretty dang good. Zerple's pretty good. So I mean, like, you know, but man, if you're not tracking, you're just throwing money at something you have no idea. You don't know if it's working. I mean, do you use different like when you set up platforms to track this stuff? How do you track it? Do you set up different emails so when you know when that email comes in, or that phone number, or how do you track that stuff?
Well, that's the thing with LineDesk. It does all that for you. Once you've entered it in, you're entering in your monthly. That's the key to this. That's the reason I like it so much, is because it does tell me where it's coming from, and then I've put in my own. The back end of it is what I'm spending that month or what I'm investing, so it's tracking that as well. So it's telling me, it's keeping up with that for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, because I know I feel like you got to have a way to track it. So if you got a couple different lead sources, you know, I always recommend to use different emails. So if something comes from that email or something comes from that phone numbers are free, for God's sake. It's so cheap to have stuff like that. Just so you can track it, so you know what's working and what's not.
Yes, exactly.
So awesome. Anything else you want to end with? So somebody, let me ask you this question. If you're to start, like, knowing what you know now, you're 5 years into this, like you've tracked the last 5 years, what would you tell somebody that's not necessarily brand new, maybe brand new, but they've been in the business a while and just trying to get off the ground or trying to increase their growth? You know, they're doing good, but man, just not quite crossing the mountain, you know? They're climbing the mountain, but they're not quite over the other side yet.
You know, I mean, I would definitely say probably the one thing I could recommend someone to do is get outside of your norm and do something that absolutely you wouldn't think yourself of doing. So contact those potential sellers that you're scared to death to contact, or make those calls. Make sure you're marketing yourself in every light that's possible, and there's many different ways to do it in different areas. I would say for young agents, really young agents, if you don't feel like you can, you're getting it going, then find a team leader or find a great broker that's going to teach you the ropes on how to grow your business, because I think that's key to staying in the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody's
so like plug into somebody that's already successful. I can't recommend that enough, man. That's probably my best. That's probably your best advice all day. Is if you're not quite there, plug into somebody that is, and you may not have the same exact results, but man, do what they do. And a lot of time, man, it's just copying other people. You're not going to recreate the wheel on this. If somebody's killing it on Facebook ads or Realtor.com, dude, if it was me, I'd fly to your office if you'd let me and sit there and go, "What are you doing with Realtor.com, man? I'm going to copy it because I'm not in I'm not in your market,
Right. Yeah. And
how do I get it? Shoot, that's what I do.
And that's where you get. I think one thing that's helped me is I go to a lot of events. I'll be at Inman next month, and I try to network with a lot of people. But that's one of the questions I ask them. If they're not in my market, I'm ask them, hey, what's generating the business? And I share what's generating business for us, because sometimes what works for me will work for them, and what works for them will work for me. So network.
Awesome,
and
dude.
Facebook's the best place for that.
Good deal. Yeah, for sure, man. I've met so many people doing this class, but more importantly, Facebook. Just reaching out to successful people who are crushing it. You can tell by reading their profile and just seeing what they're doing on Facebook if they're crushing it or not. And man, you are. I preach this. You are the 4 people you hang around. It's just how it works. It's just a different level of success. So, man, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you for coming here, taking your time on this. Dude, you're busy, successful. Congratulations on your success. So, dude, so what's next for you, man, the next 12 months? We're 100 million in the last 5 years. What do you want to do the next 5 years?
I'd like to continue, producing, but I think I'm going to take another stage at going into coaching a little bit more and teaching, because I really enjoy sharing. But I'm going to still always be a real estate agent and real estate professional. So this is my life. I have a deep passion for what I'm doing, and
good for you, man.
I'll continue to evolve with the technology.
Good for you. Anything I can do to help you, man, I'm here for you, man. I appreciate your time, and any advice or any connections I can make for you, more than happy to do that, man.
Excellent. I appreciate the time, and thank you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys more than you ever know. Thanks for hanging out with us. Same time, same place next week, right here on Agent Mastermind. Lauren, thanks again. Guys, go start tracking your stuff. Start following up. That's two of the big things I had. Track and follow up. Follow up. If you haven't called your past database in the last however long, pick up the phone today. Make some phone calls, man. Just have a fraud conversation, family, recreation, occupation goals. And start communicating with the people that already know, like, and trust you, and start asking for business. It's amazing what happens when you do that. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week on the web. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.